Alright, we start at the top of the hour, and we're there. Let's get going. I'm sure more people will wander in. Okay, you guys are here for Cub Scouting in the Outdoors, right? Alright. My name is Brian Kale. I'm from Goose Creek District. That's Loudoun County. Cub Master for about 5 years, Roundtable Commissioner for 6. I've been in Cub Scouting in one way or another as a leader for almost 8. So, been around, done a few things on this. Outdoors. This should be the no-brainer, right? Outing and scouting, we're done. Hey, you guys, you know, how hard is it? We're good. Everybody knows it, right? Let's go on for just a second. Everybody knows the 12 core values, too. You can just name them right off. Even before I showed you that, right? I'm a Roundtable Commissioner. I can't even name them off. Okay? In my subconscious, I know them all. In your subconscious, you know them all. You know what you should be doing with your program. You know the characteristics that we're looking for, that we want in our sons and also the other boys in our care. We all know this. Cub Scouting outdoors?
Yeah.
So, we know these, okay? It's not a big deal whether or not you can name them off or write them down on a list. However, it is a big deal that they should be in your program. And it should be in your program up front. Don't, after you do something, go, well, which ones did we touch on? Before you start that program, take a moment. Usually doesn't take much more than about a minute. Which ones are we going to focus on so that you know what your focus is and so that you can continue it on, okay? So keep these in mind. These are 12 core values. Now, why do I have a spinning little clothing thing? Let's get that out of the way. Here we go. Come on in. Cub Scouting in the Outdoors.
Hello.
Come on in.
Hey, how are you?
How are you? All right, so Boy Scouts has tons and tons of documentation. We've all seen it. We've all lived it. Tons of books, right? And tons of words. They tell us something that we all sort of know in really quick little blurb. Like, we promise outdoor fun, excitement, and adventure, right? These 2 paragraphs basically say that. If you ask a kid about scouting, it's about being outdoors. Camping, sticks, knives, fires, poking sticks and fires, that kind of stuff, right? That's what they do, sticks, and peeing in the woods. Right up there. Okay, this is what we're promised. This is what parents expect too, okay? Let's define outside. When's the last time you looked in the dictionary for the word outside? Probably never. Okay? Without boundary, beyond the typical. So, outside is beyond the typical. How about adventure? Exciting, unusual experience, bold action, daring. Okay, I'm not so keen on number 3 when it comes to scouting, but the rest of them are really good. And number 3 with a little bit of safety thrown in. Okay. So let's do a little math. We're in a math class. If scouting equals outing, you know the outing and scouting, and outdoor fun equals excitement and adventure, if A plus B, well here we go. Scouting equals excitement and adventure. That's what we've promised them. That's what they expect. That's what the boys want. That's what your parents want. And ultimately that's what you want because that makes your program fun for you too. Okay. Why do we do an outdoor program? Think about the life, that's not yours. Think about the life of a boy between 6 and 11 years old right now. How's his life? How's his day go? He goes to school pretty early. He maybe gets 35 minutes of some type of PE. Not always outside. He gets told, go here, go here, go here, go here, be quiet, here, go here, go here. That's his day. He comes home. Hopefully it's a nice enough day where his mom says, get outside, go run around for a little bit. And he runs around for a little bit. But then he's got homework. Homework, I don't want to do homework. It's dinner time. Hey, bedtime, because you got to school tomorrow, got to get up early. That's his day. Not the greatest day for a kid, let's face it. And small, boys between 6 and 11 years old are absolutely positively not sit-still creatures. They are noise with dirt on it. That is what boys are, right? Okay, so let's look at it. Going outdoors allows boys to be outside. It allows them to investigate everything else. Bugs, dirt, trees, rocks, everything, right? Mud puddles, tons of fun stuff, okay? It also encourages exercise. You put a boy outside and he won't help but to run around. Let's face it, When's the last time you took a boy outside and goes, okay, sit right here? And he just sat. Really? If he did, you really need to take his temperature because he's not feeling well. You know, he's going to run around. When's the last time you went outside and said, okay, now use your indoor voice? No. You want him to yell. Heck, when I got my boys outside, yell all you want. Just don't yell a couple things. Don't yell fire. Don't yell help. Between those two, yell anything else you want. And we're good. Be loud. And fresh air. Like remember your mom always saying, go out and get some fresh air. You need more fresh air. Okay? It removes indoor distractions. Electronics, electronics, electronics. Not that electronics are bad, but all the time. You don't need them all the time. And let's face it, most of our kids are all the time. My 3 boys, if I left them to their own devices, would be on electronics from the moment they woke up to the moment they went to bed. And truthfully, they'd actually fall asleep with the screen on their face. And it would still be running. Some type of movie or something, I don't know. Okay? New experience. Hey, come on in.
Standing room only.
There's some more chairs over here.
That'll work.
All right, we're just talking about the 5 benefits of outdoor program. And finally, new experiences. Okay, let's think about a normal life of a boy between the ages of 6 and 11 years old now. When they are outside, what are they doing? Sports. They've been taken to, they got baseball, soccer, football, whatever, some type of sport. It's very structured. They go to a wonderfully groomed field-ish. And then they're being told what to do as far as a skill set by a coach or somebody else. And then when the hour is over, they go do something else. Very rarely outdoors. That's their day. They spend almost no time out at night. I remember as a kid that I was outside all the time at night. My mom would send me out at night, just don't go further than what you can hear my voice. Who knows what that meant? But as a boy, I went out and I knew generally where I could hear her voice. And I was right.
If she was really mad, that could be quite
It could be a mile and a half. You're right. It could be a long way. But ultimately, that's what we did. There's a seat right back there. So, boys spend almost no time outside at night. As parents, I hate to say it, we've gotten a little too paranoid about bad things happen at night, or I can't see you as far, so something could happen to you, and we get into that mode. Okay, so there's not as many opportunities for that adventure. Okay, but why do we do it? It's fun. What? It's fun. It's fun. As I tell my boys every time we're going to do something, hey, why are we going to do this? And they go, well, we need to learn this. No, it's fun. Oh, it's fun. They don't get people telling them that very much. They're used to teaching going, we're going to learn right now about why gravity works in the air. No, it's fun. You know, if I throw a rock into a creek, it's because it's fun. And I can see it splash. And maybe I can get him wet. That's why we do it, right? All right. How about you? Why do you have an outdoor program? It is tradition. Scouting from the very beginning has been about being outdoors. Baden-Powell created the program for boys to be outside. Okay, was that because it was the early 1900s? Yes. Was it because culture was more of an outside culture? Yes. Was it because there was no electronics? Yes. But it's also because they're incredibly valuable skills. It gives you lots of opportunities for tasks to learn confidence and leadership. Okay? Boys and parents both love the world around us. Outside is more vivid in colors. It's more your senses seem to be employed. The breeze, the sun on your face, the rain, whatever. You know, it rains sideways. Okay, great, that's pretty cool. We probably don't want to be out here very much longer until we're soaked, but who cares? Tons of fun. Incredible memories. Once again, fun! Okay, scouting, once again, puts their spin on it. Lord Baden-Powell, backwoodsman. Set stage. More receptive to scouters' deeper meaning. Okay, these are all very true, but let's put them in words of today's people, what we understand. It's the perfect place to encourage family togetherness. What do I mean? Think about your pack meeting, your den meeting. 3/4 of your parents, not all, are in the back, or they're talking. Did you see what you're doing? I don't know. Well, I've been so busy at work. No. They're talking and not paying any attention to what's going on, right? That's most of your parents. They're saying, hey, the brown shirts will take care of it. Don't worry, we're good. Our babysitting's great. This is what they're doing, okay? And it's not to be mean to the parents, but that's, if I was a parent that went on a brown shirt, I'd probably do the same thing. Because I don't have to watch them right now. That's pretty good. When you've got them outside, you got them. They're in a nice little, even though the outside is wide open, you've got them in a nice little tight hold because there's nowhere else to go. Them walking around with their phone is really so out of the ordinary. Oh, I better watch. I better see what's going on. They tend to be more engaged, and they eventually have fun too. Okay? New challenges. Boys have a chance to lead and learn new skills. Scouting is the only program out there where failure is actually encouraged. Because when you try something, it doesn't work, it's not over. You try it again. You learn that, well, maybe if we approach it a different way, maybe if we go more with teamwork, maybe if I'm bringing in other friends or other members of my pack, my den or whatever, we can do more. It's not like a football game where I drop the pass on the last second of the game and it's over and I can't try it again. It is totally different. And so being outside gives us lots of opportunities. All right, so what can you do outside? Anything. I mean, anything. Most of us think of hikes, camping, sports. But you can do anything outside. The key here, though, is no matter what you do, it requires some planning. The P word. Everybody hates the P word. Planning, planning, planning. Planning's hard. Planning's boring. Planning's something I don't want to do. Planning is the difference between a mediocre program and an exceptional program. It's not fun to begin with, but once you've done planning and it becomes part of your culture, it's part of the activity. And you are amazed at how much different the outcome is when you've actually planned. Okay, so what's the first thing you should be planning? I don't know. Location? Yep. Responsibility? What ifs and safety. This should actually be here, 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 and here. Safety always. That's our job. That's our number one job. Okay? Tempted to skip the planning? Don't do it. All right, so location. Here we go. It should be some mystical place. What steeped with scouting history. Maybe even some local legend. Maybe you'll see some ghosts there. It could be amazing. Okay, come on. If I could find this place right here, and I could have my meetings here, it would be awesome. And my parents would be like, we love this place. This is awesome. And they'd have a daiquiri machine over to the side. That's what they'd be doing, okay? I don't even know where this is, but it's gorgeous. Or, look at this. This deep, dark woods, and it's an amphitheater. And can you imagine the skits and the programs you could run in there? Awesome! Once again, don't know where it is. If you find a place like that, hold on to it with both hands and use the heck out of it because you have found a gem. But let's face it, this is not our normal life, right? This is our life. Sports, some parks around us, schools, playgrounds, maybe a trail here and there. This is our real life, okay? Let's live in real life. Okay, so we can be anywhere. Tons of places. It could be someone's backyard. The key here is safety and appropriate size and facilities, right? Okay? So, but we also need to think about leave no trace. If I am doing something back in one of the playground areas of the school that my pack meets in, leave no trace is not quite as imperative. Because let's face it, it's been torn to heck anyway. We try to make it better and we try to do projects to help them along. But it's not like, well, let's not make a new trail here, because there's really nothing but beaten down grass anyway. But if you're like, for instance, here, notice all these beautiful ferns and everything? Your boys will want to go in there, and they're probably okay, but your parents will also be out there like pulling up ferns and all kinds of stuff, and you're like, wait a minute, leave no trace. We need to talk about taking care of this area so it stays beautiful, just like that. Okay? But locations need to be scouted out prior to use. If you're going to somewhere that your pack has never been, you need to go there with the eyes of, I'm a 6-year-old boy. Where would I go? What would I do? What would I stick my finger in? What would I jump into?
Where's the cliff?
Where is there a tree here that I can climb 7 foot in it and jump out? That's what you gotta look at. Okay? It's all about safety. It's all about facilities too. Hey, any bathrooms around? The boys don't care. But the parents do, and the siblings do. It's important. And maybe if it was depending on what was for lunch, you may too. So you need to look out these things, right? Are there any first aid requirements, around any facilities? Do you have cell phone coverage there? Those kind of things. How many boys do you want? If you're going to do a den meeting, okay, so a den meeting is approximately 6 to 10 boys plus some parents. So, okay, so you're looking at what, 20 people, tops, give or take? Most places can handle 20 people. Let's say you're taking your pack's 100 people. You got them, their parents, siblings, and everything else. And you got 250 to 300. Where are they gonna go? My backyard? Well, my backyard's a quarter of an acre. No. You know, you've got to look at these things from that point of view. And here's the key. Outdoors planning means you always have to know that there is a random number variable that comes into play, weather. Okay? It starts out, it's gorgeous, it's 75 degrees, light breeze, beautiful puffy clouds, oh, it's beautiful! And then all of a sudden, within a minute and a half, here comes the thunderhead, and all of a sudden you've got lightning strikes and you got hail the size of your fist. Seriously. Well, maybe not the fist smart, but otherwise, what are you going to do? Where's your shelter? And you need to let your leaders know where it is, and your parents know where it is. Telling the boys they're not listening to you anyway, but at least the adults should know where it is, right? All right. Oh, see this right here? A written plan is not required, but I do recommend it because it actually means you did the work. You and I could sit here and we could talk for 2 or 3 minutes about, here's our planning, but ultimately, I'm not sure how much true planning we did. We just sort of what-ifed it for a minute. That's not real true planning. Now, I don't mean get out of form and make this hard, but when you force yourself to write something down, it's also something that you can use later. Then next time your pack wants to use this facility, you've already got it. You know, a little legacy here, good stuff. All right, so here we are. We got all kinds of fun stuff outside. Youth protection is always in play, always. Okay, we're outside, what's that mean? That means that no one adult and child are to disappear from sight in any way, shape, or form. Okay, if you're in an open field that's 300 yards that way, 300 yards that way, 300 yards that way, and 300 yards that way, anywhere in that 300 yards is still visible. 12 feet from me is a series of trees, and I can't see through those trees. That's my area where you use protection. You know, I've got to make sure there's at least 2 adults going there. Bathrooms, use of boys versus adults. Remember your youth protection training. Responsible adult station. Of course, because the parents are going to automatically know exactly what they need to do. They're going to be looking around for the dangers, and they're going to be there to shepherd the boys around. No, they're not. They're going to be sitting there talking to each other and said, once again, the brown shirts have got it. Your job is to specifically tell each parent what their job is. If there is a pumping station or something over here that the kids are going to go mess with, okay, I need you two to make sure that the boys stay away from the pumping station. That's your job. Make sure you're specific and they know that they've got it. Now they can still sit there and talk, but they're between the boys and the pumping station. No, guys, we're not going this way. That's fine. You've now got your movable fence. Life's good. Also, you need to identify who knows any first aid. Are you the only one who knows first aid? That's okay if it is, but we need to make sure, and we also need to make sure we have a first aid kit we know how to use. I pull out this huge EMT bag, bam, and I pull out stuff out of it, and I know how to use none of it. It is useless. If I pulled out of my pocket a little zipper thing that has 50 Band-Aids, I have 50 Band-Aids, because I know how to use those. Okay? I could have, you know, all kinds of cardiac kits and all kinds of crap. It doesn't matter if we don't know how to use it, or we're not trained to use it. Okay? So make sure it's appropriate for the number of kids and adults. Yes?
We have 2 first aid kits for our pack now. We have 2 different adults that are responsible for bringing them to the meetings. The first aid kit, it's one of the big companies the Boy Scout uses all the time. It's got all the different little things in it. And the other one's from Walmart, and it's full of Band-Aids.
Exactly.
Because realistically speaking, we need the Band-Aid kit.
Yeah. The Band-Aids are mostly used.
And cold packs, ice packs.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so cold packs and maybe some plastic bags, just throw some ice in to make additional cold packs. That's exactly right. Know how to use what you have. Okay? Buddy system. Make sure your parents understand it. Your boys have been told it, but how many times, well, where's Timmy? Well, Timmy went to the bathroom. Who went with him? Well, nobody went with him. He's 7 years old. He can go to the bathroom. No, not at a scouting event. He has to go with a buddy. Here's the rule. Make sure your parents know it. The parents don't have to go with buddies unless you want them to. That's really fun, but no. You should have your kids. The kids should be following a consistent rule. Okay? It's important for them to understand the rules, and it's for their safety, and it's also a good policy, no matter what, to have this kind of capability. Okay? Yes?
I would suggest that you teach your parents about youth protection and rules.
Absolutely. I'm hoping that your youth protection is something that you've at least given a overview to every single parent, whether they're a leader or not, because they need to understand. Yes?
Does anyone in the room make their parents take youth protection? We're starting to discuss that.
Everyone.
Some of the packs
All
do.
the
Our
parents
pack
do it.
is toy back and forth. The hardest part on that is sometimes you need to actually sit down with them and actually be side by side with them, and because left to their own devices, less than 10% actually go on and do it.
Something we did, or we've been talking with our district person about, is what he said he would do is actually come to one of our meetings, set up a projector, and put the
Yep.
30-minute video on.
The video, that's right, and the video is available at all Scout stores, and matter of fact, your district probably has some that you can borrow, so you don't have to buy it. Yep. All right, what other what ifs? In today's world of cell phones, we all have weather bug or something, right? Someone should be keeping an eye on it. I am always checking periodically, oh, we got a storm cell coming in. Just these kind of things, to know what's going on, what are the potential dangers. If we're gonna do anything with fire, make sure we have people who understand fire safety and you brought the proper equipment. And you identify one adult as the fire master. Sounds really cool, but ultimately means you have the responsibility for the fire. The lighting to the extinguishing. And no one you do not leave the area until it's so cold you can put your hand in the ashes. That's your job. If you need to leave early, you hand it off like a token to somebody else that says, now you're a fire master, congratulations. You almost need a hat. Here you go, here's the fire master.
Just FYI, there's weather training available on the scouting website.
There
It's,
is.
you know,
Hazardous weather training. Yep. Okay, have a plan before it happens. All right, has anyone ever lost a kid?
We gained the kid.
I'm not sure which is worse. No, seriously, has anyone ever lost a kid?
At an event,
Yes.
Like your own kid.
No, well, your own kid or some other kid.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Okay, we all laugh about it. My pack, I have lost a child. I lost a child at a parade. And let me tell you what, that was the worst 15 minutes of my entire life. This is why we're going to focus on this for just a minute. Because my pack made some huge blunders in this, but never again. We were at a parade, at the brigade building we were out. One of the series of parents brought up and they put their son on the float. And they said to the child, we'll meet you at the end of the parade. They didn't tell any adults that. All we had told the parents is, you're walking with us. But these parents had decided they weren't going to. Get to the very end of the parade, I'm taking the float apart, they come up and goes, hey, where's Timmy? Huh? Where's Timmy? With you. No, he's not. Next thing I know, get a cop. I've got a lost child. Shh, we got a lost cop. Shh. All of a sudden, it's like you have seen a nuclear bomb explode right there. Yeah, my stomach was just like, we're done. Okay, we made some huge blunders here. Number one, parents should be at every event. If they're not, there are occasions they're not going to be. Hey, his sister's got somebody, and drop them off real quick. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, fine. But bring your child to me and another leader, 2 leaders minimum. Let me put my eyes on them because they all look the same in their little blue shirts. You know, truthfully, probably ought to get a tag to put on them too. You know, put on their ear or something. I don't know. But I want to look at them, and I want to know the leader, and we both go, we have got them. We've got him. Now, also, parent, you can't have him back until you come back to us. You know, make sure they understand. That was rule number 1 we didn't follow. Number 2, all den leaders should have every parent of their kids in their dens cell phones. Period. Absolutely everyone. Hey, we're missing a kid. Yeah, did you pick up Timmy? Oh, well, you really should have told us, but hey, I'm glad he's safe. You know, how often does that happen? Okay? All parents should have the den leader cell phone numbers. Yeah, I had to walk away for a little bit. Love you about you. Something. Multiple leaders must be advised of scouts without a parent. Yes. Okay? What happened at the very end of this is I did not have all my den leaders' cell phone numbers. I was missing one. Who had the boy? The one I did not have the number. And they decided that they were going to walk back to the beginning of the parade route because that's where his parents' car was. They assumed. So they went walking. Finally, I get another leader who has this guy's number, like, have you seen Timmy? Yeah, he's with me. Okay, great. You keep him? You're where you at? Got it. Got him. Please, shh, we got him. We're okay. It was horrible. Mother's crying hysterically. Father's angry. Police are going everywhere. Pads are out. You got a picture? Well, he's in a blue uniform like everybody else. You know, and you got nothing. It was horrible. Don't let it happen in your pack. Have a plan, follow through. This is where a little bit of planning goes a long way, okay? Huge deal. Yes?
So that raises a good point. Would it be a good idea to have a photograph of every child?
Well, I think
Actually, what I do, I'm a father of 4. Whenever we go to the zoo, whenever we do anything, the first thing I say, safety picture. They all line up, I take a picture of them before we go into SeaWorld. Yeah, because I've got the clothes that day, I've got their hair that day.
We all have cell phones.
And it works, it's on the cell phone, and I've
That's
lost
a great
a
idea.
kid at SeaWorld,
Yep.
and had the picture. I've lost, one kid at the National Zoo for the Halloween night, decided he was going out the other direction,
Yep.
I had given all the kids whistles. I said, if you get lost, blow it. He didn't think he was lost. I took one of the other kids' whistles and I'm blowing my ass off. Marching to Connecticut Avenue. And we're heading for Rock Creek Park. That was 15 minutes of terror.
You know, the thing of it is here, it wasn't because of lack of care, and it wasn't because of any kind of, due diligence. It was because not all the details had been matched. We had a unfortunate mismatch. But by a little bit of planning, you can prevent it.
Take a safety picture, even a group
Yeah.
shot is valuable.
Did that den leader reach out to anyone before he?
Yeah, we had to talk about that too.
You had mentioned the buddy system. We also, when we did a parade, even though the parents were there, but we had all the boys buddied up. So
Exactly.
if you saw a boy by themselves, that was a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
where's
good.
your buddy? Yeah,
That
you knew
was a
somebody
prime
was.
example. Okay, how about swimming? You guys take Cub Scouts in the water? You know you can, right? Everyone's like, oh, this sounds bad. Okay, I agree. It sounds bad because we all know the horror stories of what can happen. But the Guide to Safe Scouting has Cub Scouts doing water activities with a few caveats. Of course there are caveats. Number one, it is absolutely a one-on-one activity. Boys are not out there without their parent. Now, if their parent's not a swimmer, the boys are not out there without an adult who can swim. Okay, because if your parent can't swim, they do you no good. Timmy's drowning, and they're standing there, okay? Appropriate trained lifeguards if you got them. If you don't, no water deeper than this. You're using flotation devices. These are things, common sense things. You're like, oh, of course we would. But you can go have a great time in water in locations as long as a little bit of pre-planning and realizing, okay, what are my danger points? Okay? Don't cut corners on this. They're going to have a great time, and there's lots of great memories. I mean, father and son. Father's a swimmer, son is also a swimmer, it doesn't have to be, but both of them have their flotation devices in their boat.
I will point out, however, that looks like it's at Goshen.
That is Goshen.
And you can't do any boating with Cub Scouts unless you're at a district or a council camp.
And with the exception of it's not even a family event, but God Safe Scouting points it out as far as what it is, but you're right, that is a Goshen event. Notice the buoy line right here? Typically, you would not do that with Cub Scouts either. It's explored, well-established swim area. But these are things that you can do. The Guide to Safe Scouting will give you these things. Don't think that, oh, these are not possible. Just like, who thinks you can go rock climbing with Cub Scouts? You can, a certain tiny little bit. See, my gut reaction is like, heck no, what are you talking about? Okay? But there are all kinds of options. Reviewing the Guide to Safe Scouting, there is a lot of things that you can have a fun doing outside. Okay? Now, you can start with baby steps, real small stuff, but there are always these kind of options. All right, so what about meeting outside? Meeting outside are easy with the following caveats. Here we go again. Oh, it's a caveat. The hardest part about meeting outside is if you're going to have any standing still or craft activity, you need to have the area to do it. If the craft is something where they're going to build something that is not easy to build on the ground or has lots of pieces, you need a table. Picnic table, folding. Maybe it's a blanket. Something to, keep it from falling into the grass. I lost this part. That kind of thing. If your parents are going to be out there, encourage them to bring chairs. Camp chairs or something, or have some other chairs, because you will always have some folks who need to sit down. Okay, you need to be aware of these kind of things. And always leave the place better than you found it. Always. We want scouting to be known for actually improving our surroundings, not being detrimental to them. Okay, how about a pack meeting? You can use fires for effect, absolutely. You can do all kinds of things to do with, with light and sound and, the adventure there. The key here, though, is you now have to worry about more members of the family in a seating area. And you need to also worry about, as it starts to get dark, little siblings wandering off, so parents need to be aware of that too. It's all about safety. So you need to know your surrounding area. If where you're having your pack meeting is gonna start getting twilight to dark, and 15 feet that direction is a hole that falls 4 feet down, you need to have someone, a parent that's assigned basically, that's sitting close to that hole to make sure no one's heading that way. You just gotta be aware of these kind of things. All right, but don't forget, parks and pavilions, most of them require a reservation. Very rarely in the Washington metro area can you just show up at a park pavilion and go, hey, we're just gonna be here. Because there's almost always somebody going, I paid so-and-so and I wanna be here. There's always gonna be lots and lots of people around doing other things, so you can't expect complete silence or anything. You gotta play this into your program. Okay? Sound distractions occur, younger siblings are a little harder to control, but always bring your flag to the event and have your boys in uniform or camp pack t-shirt. It's good to have people see this is a Cub Scout pack doing something fun outside. It's good for your recruiting. It's also good for the reputation of your pack, especially when you leave the place better than you found it. After the meeting's over, you put a little police line together and you go looking and pick all the garbage up. Good stuff. Teaches the boy good stewardship. Also shows the community this is what scouting's about. All right, but safety, safety. Okay? Fire safety gear, make sure you have it with you if you're gonna have a fire. You know what that is, right? Bucket with water and or sand, shovel, a small rake, right? Okay, size of fire should be examined to fit the space, shouldn't be visible from space. I want a fire that's 14 feet tall. That's great, good for you. How about on your own property? And now's a scouting event. You know, it should be appropriate. If you build a fire that's going to take 7 hours to burn down, is your meeting 7 hours long? God help me, that's right. All right, what other things you ought to do outdoors? This right here is the May pack meeting for my pack. We do bottle rocket launches. It's nothing more than a Coke bottle, a little bit of water, a little air pressure, 200 feet. Awesome. The boys love it to death. Matter of fact, if you look right here, they've just launched. This is the stream of water that's being pushed out of the bottle. The bottles will be right about here when that picture was taken. And they're going to keep going until they almost go out of sight.
What's the mechanism you're using on this?
All this right here is a series of pieces of PVC with a little air gauge on it, and then we have we use a compressor. We cheat a little bit because our arms get really tired because we do about 400 launches and bicycle pumps kill you. But there's it's a little bicycle in, and then they pull a U-shaped piece of metal that holds the ring around the bottom, and it goes. Cool.
Did you buy it or build it?
I bought these, but there are numerous plans on web. There's 4 or 5 different models. There's a handheld model for an adult to hold, which basically is a long tube, and using a series of those wire ties that are holding the, by pulling it back, it releases it and it goes.
It's stop and wet, I bet.
The adult leader, I didn't have a picture, but I have a picture of this one adult one. As the water is like hitting them everywhere. Yeah, those, unless you want to be wet, that's not the one to go with. This is a little better. But there are numerous places that sell these too. I am willing to bet that every single one of your district owns at least a couple of them. Check with your district. They're willing to loan.
Do you know where you got those?
Yes.
Because we're doing that.
Be sure and send me an email and ask, and I'll send you a link to it, because I bought these from a guy in Ohio who built these. And they're awesome. I love these things. We use them all the time. I use them 3 or 4 times a year. But we use our May pack meeting as a recruiting. See all these boys right here? Only about 1/3 of them are Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
That's exactly right. The other 2 are their friends. The other 2/3 are like, you're gonna do what? Awesome. The next thing, there's my spring recruiting right there. Oh, and by the way, here's a list of all the activities we're gonna do this summer too. You want to be involved. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So is that at a school or how
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah, this is our school right here. We basically have 2 or 3 big jugs of water. I have a compressor over here and a portable generator. Well, I mean, like I said, you can do a bicycle pump, but we're doing 400 launches.
And so how did you get the information? Like we put like flyers or we.
This is our regular pack meeting, and we have each of the boys invite at least 1 if not 2 friends.
Okay.
And if they invite a friend and the friend comes, hey, you get a recruiter strip. Hey, that's great, here's your little bling too. Life's good, because remember, the recruiter strip has no definitive requirement.
Right.
It's whatever your pack has decided it is. And our pack has decided, you bring a friend to a meeting, you get one.
Check with your local school. The 3 schools that feed our pack are fine with us giving them flyers because they take home a midweek
Thirsty,
Yeah.
thirsty folder or whatever.
The parents
Yeah,
have to
we
sign
did
off
that.
on.
Yeah.
Just put a disclaimer, not endorsed by the
By the
county
PTA,
schools.
yeah, by the PTA of the school.
Right.
But these are fun activities. They're tons of fun, lots of excitement. Okay? All right, well, let's move on a little bit. When you're outdoors, you also need to know your boys. As a den leader, I'm hoping that you really know your boys well. You know sort of what makes them tick, what makes them not tick, what makes their clock actually spring all the gears out and they have a little meltdown, what makes their parents tick, what their parents' hot buttons are. Well, I'm sure you know them. Whether you want to admit it or not, we all know them. As a Cub master, you trust the den leaders to let you know what's my limitations here, okay? For instance, these three boys right here, 4th graders, my pack, my son right here, went on a hike. This is a Goshen up to Big Rock. That is a significant hike. Truthfully, the 3 adults that went were the ones that about had heart attacks. The boys were great. They're like, come on, 1 second, 1 second. You know, as we're crawling along, are you okay? My chest hurts. You know, so we're climbing up, you know, and they had a great time, okay? We were, you know, supposedly keeping an eye on their limitations. Maybe I should have said we keeping an eye on the adult limitations. But knowing what each of your boys needs is important. That doesn't mean that you take your entire program and go, okay, we need to chop it down to where it fits only the, you know, the lowest level. That's not the way to go. Just know that absolutely every activity, every boy can be involved with. Find ways that each one of them can have fun doing what you're doing. Maybe it's a division of tasks. Maybe each one of these games has a certain way of winning. Okay. The key here, though, is this right here. Most boys, no matter what, whether they have one of these labeled things or not, believes that every once in a while they have this trepidation about, oh, I don't think I can do this. Every boy has that. Okay. The key here is the motto is do your best. And I remind my boys before absolutely everything, we're going to do our best, right? They're like, yeah. Does that mean we're going to be the best? No. We're not. You may be the best. Good on you. But if you did your best, and at the very end of the day, when you walk out and go, you know, I gave everything I had, that's what we're looking for. I remind them this all the time, because here's the key. Do your best. And that applies to everything you do, whether it be a hike, camping, outside, sports, everything.
And that's hard to do in today's society.
Yes, it is.
Because everybody's given a participatory something. I've run into that with my son who's just transitioned to Boy Scouts. The other day he said, he was talking about the specific thing he says he's getting tired of.
Right.
And it turns out that he has a fear that he's not going to get an award for that.
Is that right? Exactly right. And that's where we need to also, in scouting, need to actually embrace the failure. Being a failure, a true failure, it just means that I've been knocked down and I'm not going to get up again. That's the only true failure. So by having all these things, you know what? That's okay. Let's do it again. Highlight your foibles, highlight your issues, and as far as, man, I didn't understand that at all. Did you get it? And pointing out that it's not a big deal. People give their all, and if they give their best, they're going to come back out of it with better character. Okay, so what else can we do? Tons of stuff. I mean, seriously, you can do anything outside. Okay, so let's talk about a few of these. Camping. Camping is one of the most awesome components of Cub Scouting. Why? Because you have the family captured. Mom and Dad can't go off and do something else. You go ahead and do that. Yeah, I hear you, honey. They're out there with them. Okay? They may not know how to put up a tent to save their life. Doesn't matter. I use my Weeblo 2s. Let's go around and check on them, make sure okay. Even if the Weeblo 2s cannot solve their problem, they can come back to me or one of the other leaders and go, hey, they need help with a tent. Okay. And everybody has a chance to learn. Okay? It's teaching outdoor skills, campfires. That's where memories are. Tons of stories and fun songs and cheers. Food prep, I usually don't let my boys that are younger than Bear be part of the food prep, because truthfully, I don't want my food dropped on the floor 15 times before you. Could they do it? Sure. Is it worth it? No, but there's plenty of things they can do. They can help put out, get the silverware out. They can help get the plates out. There's plenty of things to help. Just not necessarily letting them fix the food. Here's the key on it. Well, I don't like going camping. It's 24 hours. Seriously, Cub Scout camping is 24 hours. You can stand anything for 24 hours. It's raining. Yeah. I mean, unless it is hailing, or whether there's, you know, firestorm coming, or locust or something, it's only 24 hours. I mean, maybe a cicada's coming to attack you, I don't know, but it's 24 hours. Come on. A lot of parents in your pack will go, oh, we just don't want to go camping. Okay, you just got to work on it. Some of them, well, the reason they don't want to go camping is because they don't trust their skill set. They don't believe that they know what's going on, and so they don't like being part of that. Yes.
The thing I found in our pack that our parents are really excited about, especially the ones with girls, is that when we say family camp out, we actually
Right.
mean family camp out.
Yep.
And so we've had to actually specifically tell people, yes, your girls and younger
Yep.
kids are invited. And when they find that out, the families are so excited that they can actually go with their whole
Absolutely.
family. So that may be part of it for.
That's
ones
true,
who are
and you
a
should
little less-
advertise. It's for siblings, both younger and older. It's for parents, both male and female. It is a family camping, and truthfully, it's from the back of your car. How far are you truly away from your car? Really? I mean, come on. You know, if you bring the kitchen,
Camp Snyder.
if you bring the kitchen sink, well, yeah, but you drive in there and you still take it from your car. You know, if you bring the kitchen sink, okay, great, you brought the kitchen sink, you only had to lug it 12 feet, okay? So, what do you do at camping though? You teach skills, okay? It's okay, don't get me wrong, it's okay to let the kids just run around and be kids during camping. Don't think it's gotta be ooh, super structured. But find at least one skill to teach each time. Just one, just one. Well, I teach every other one of the camping trips, I do a map and compass. It's about 2 hours, I have a whole bunch of those little cheapy $7 compasses. We bought as a pack, I have like 14 of them or something like that. And then I have usually a hand-drawn map of where we're at, and we practice pacing off, and they earn their belt. Map and compass belt. There it is. It's a wonderful 2 hours, they're out and about, they're exploring, and they have a good time. And typically, I have my parents learn something too.
You know,
Yes.
all of the USGS quads are online. You can download as PDFs.
Geocaching is, you know, more of this stuff is just, there's tons of
All the USGS quadrangle maps are online. You can download and print them.
State parks do geocaching programs.
Exactly. And these are becoming more and more popular. Pitching a tent, food prep, not, all these are easy things to do. Wheeling chip for your bears and up. It's the perfect opportunity. Nice big blood circle. You know, not to mention the fact you can't teach whittling chip in a school anymore. No knives in schools.
After school.
Who would have thought? Yeah, it's not supposed to be there. Whittling chip, perfect opportunity. You know, there's tons of, check with your parents. I'm willing to bet that in your group of parents, there are somebody with certain skill sets you didn't even know that knows something about birds, or plants, or trees, or rocks, or something.
For it.
Or you find an app for it. Exactly. This is a great opportunity. Okay? Hikes. Number one thing to remember. Cub Scouts are not Boy Scouts. We're going to go on a 15-mile hike. No, you're not. Number one, your adults can't make it. Number two, your Cub Scouts really shouldn't be hiking that far. You can't carry enough provisions for the water and everything. You know. Okay, it should be based on the age. You know, once again, fourth graders, this hike was, in my opinion, probably the limit of the demanding for a fourth grader. They did great, don't get me wrong. This was Goshen up to Big Rock.
Viewing Rock.
Viewing Rock, yes.
How far is that?
2.5 miles, something like that?
Actually, it's about 3 miles.
But it's pretty vertical.
Each way or moving?
Mile and a half up, mile and a half down.
Okay.
But
So-
it is
And it's
so
1,200 foot.
worth it.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
gorgeous, and the boys did a great job. I mean, let's face it, the parents had more problems than the boys did. But, you know, you just need to know limitations where they're having fun. I took a bunch of tigers around Leesburg for a historic trip, you know, with Vermel. It's a 5-mile loop. Okay, tigers at 5 miles, no. I kept watching them, and when we start seeing the enthusiasm drop, hey, and that's the end of the trip. Because you want to leave them happy and leave them where, man, that was fun. Let's do that again. If I make it a death march, okay, they make it all the way to the other end, but then they go home going, how was the trip? It was horrible. Mr. Campbell is walking. You know, next thing you know, it's like you walked 50 miles, you know, uphill both ways. So, you know, buddy system, you bet. Water, yep. Cub Scouts should be at least a 1-to-2 ratio, if not a 1-to-1 ratio. I say 1 to 2 because if there are siblings, you know, like 2 boys, you know, brothers, you know, you may have 2 kids with you. But it should be a lot of adults to about the same number of kids. It's not a Boy Scout where, hey, 3 leaders can take 15 boys. Let's go. Yeah, in a program. You guys have seen this program, right? Yeah? Based off the presidential lifestyle award? I mean, you might remember that. Back in high school, our grade was actually determined by that. Remember that? Push-ups, pull-ups, all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's not nearly the grueling thing it was when we did, but it is about exercise. Remember, Journey to Excellence for your units, there is a physical fitness component. This is a wonderful opportunity to do it. Encourages the boys to go out. Part of your meetings can be doing things outside. It fits right into it. There's not a single belt loop you can do outside. I mean, I tell you, there's nothing you can do. Really? Yes, sir.
Question earlier in another class, it was indicated that in 2015 belt loops disappeared.
That's correct.
Overnight.
Wait, let me put it this way.
Well, the loops
That is
themselves-
that's the current announcement that has been made.
Well, it's just the loops themselves are going to disappear. The paperwork's still going to.
The paperwork's still going to exist, and the program is going to incorporate it into the adventures of the new Cub Scout. That's about all I know about it. So I know that, but right now, there's lots of opportunities. And even if these go away, the actual activities themselves are great activities, even without the belt loop. Now just remember that the ones that are copper colored have to be done at camps, PSA camps.
That's just archery and BB guns.
That's
right?
correct.
Right.
We blow pins. Tons of them are outside. Lots of things to do. Okay, how about ceremonies? You guys do our ceremonies outside? Every once in a while? They're harder to do because you want things to be well controlled. Ceremonies in our head, we want to be incredibly well controlled. Okay, not always. It's just the way it is. If you're outside, this is in a summer. We went camping as a pack during the summer, and we're going to have a flag retirement ceremony. Okay, now boys are not in uniform. People are like, they weren't in uniform. I don't care if they weren't in uniform. I care that they understand the reverence of the moment, and they have a good time understanding the meaning of what we're doing. That's the purpose. Now, they happen to all three be wearing their Pack 71 t-shirts. They just, which is good. But even if they'd all been wearing three different things, it would not have bothered me as much because the fact of the matter was, they approached it with the reverence that was appropriate, especially for boys their age. They did a really good job with it. I mean, you could tell they knew the seriousness and they wanted to be out there. They wanted to do what they could do the best they could do. So there are tons of ceremonies. You can buy a book like that. You can Google Boy Scout ceremonies and you will find 10,000 of them. You can create your own. Start creating some for your pack that you like. Make them a book and it becomes part of the culture, the legacy of your pack. Okay? Ceremonies can range all over the place. Rank advancements, projects, birthdays, you name it. They don't have to be super long. Matter of fact, they should not be super long. Boys have a 5-minute sitting capability. Even that's long. Parents have about 3. Okay? So, you need to avoid long ones unless they're incredibly, I don't want to say entertaining, but incredibly inclusive in the fact that everyone has things to do or you sort of get drawn in and time sort of flies. Some of the kind you've had there is sort of like that. And flag retirement ceremonies are always good ones outside. You have fire. All right, flag retirement. The key here is safety, especially since flags nowadays are nylon and they melt up. They're not like cotton that you actually have. There are multiple ways of doing this. This was when our pack started doing it originally. We actually had adults. What you don't see there's an adult behind each one of these boys to take and then flip it into the fire as they brought it down. There's also a cut method. We've actually started using a cut method where I cut each one of the stripes and I give one to every single boy, and he walks up and he tosses it into the fire and says something he's thankful for. These are kind of things with the reverence, and we explain completely the purpose of it, why it's appropriate, and also why, as a citizen, we should be proud of the fact that we have the capability of doing it. These are all these things that were incorporated into patriotism. So, and I've recovered grommets from it in the past too. I've got a couple on my belt here, and return them to either the owner of the flag or the boys who were the color guard, as a memento of what's going on. Now, finding grommets in a dead fire later on, that in itself is an activity. Everybody gets really dirty, and lots of, but it takes a while because they're little tiny things. But it's also fun. Field trips. Remember, here's those tigers I was talking about that were walking around Leesburg. This is after we stopped. They're all very happy, and we're going to get hot chocolate. They're very happy. It was a great outdoor activity. But we're in the Washington metro area. Within the 50-mile radius of Washington, D.C., there must be at least 1,000 places to go to do something, like a field trip or something outside. There's battlefields, historic monuments, name it. Tons of places.
I remember as a Weeblo, 100 years ago, we hiked the Lincoln Trail.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like a death march, because it was like.
Because you were that tall.
Yeah, well, we were little and it was like 7 or 14 miles, but it was Lincoln Memorial, White House, Ford's Theater.
I saw someone walk in here with
We had
the new
packs.
trail, the DC trail. Who had one of those on just a minute ago? It's a red ribbon that has, oh, maybe not. Oh, you got it. There it is. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there's one, the new national trail down in DC.
Yeah.
Okay.
There,
How long is it?
they have a Cub Scout version,
About
which,
6 miles.
the Cub Scout version is 2.5. But they have Boy Scout and Cub Scout versions, and, one second. And also, this place right here, the Carolina Trader, they have a list of all the trail medals that are available in this area and around the country, so it gives you lots of options. The book I got for Leesburg had information I had no clue about. As a person that lives in Leesburg, I was actually ashamed of how little I knew about my little city here. You just want to walk along and here's a bill like, the Constitution and the Declaration were hidden here during the War of 1812. And I mean, I got excited about it, the boys were like, yeah, whatever. But I thought it was really cool. You know, these are options, these are great options.
So the patch programs, mill programs, where do you get the information on those?
There's a great place to start.
Carolina Trail Coach patch.
Yeah, that's the great place to start. A lot of these local locations too, if you contact the park services for that, we can also point to you too, because a lot of different park services have created the patches or the medals themselves. Like you go to Gettysburg, the Gettysburg, if you go to one of the
District has it.
yeah, the district understands it, and also the Gettysburg gift shop at the mainland, they will have their
It's a revenue stream.
yeah, it is, but they're really neat.
And the websites, a lot of times will have a scout link on them.
Well,
Okay.
anything with guns is always cool.
Well, we're in the 150th anniversary of the Civil War. There are battles going on. Reenactors are the best educators. They absolutely love talking about their equipment and everything. It's great. It's a great opportunity for the boys to be outside and see. How about parades? You guys are in parades? Yeah. Even after losing a kid, I'm still in parades. It's crazy stuff. You know, there's Memorial Day observances. You know, tons of opportunities in your town and community. Service projects? Of course. Remember, service projects are also in your journey to excellence. Your PAC should be doing 3 of them. And they should be in partnership with your charter organization. What's important to them? What's important to you? There's got to be things to do, even if it's cleaning up a stream or cleaning up a park, or my recommendation is you go to your local elementary school where your feeder is for your PAC and say, how can we help you today? I'll tell you what, you need some flowers planted? We're your guys. Because all of a sudden, you've got that goodwill going, and they're like, we love you, please come use our facility. Because some schools are not as open as others, and the more you do for them, the more they do for you. World Conservation Award, all the Cub Scout requirements are there. They fold in exceptionally well with any of the ranks. It's a great opportunity, and they're doing a service project at the very end, which feeds into what your PAC's doing anyway, helping other people at all times, right? Gosh, what service project couldn't you, I mean, we all go out and do scouting for food. Hey, that's great. Good, don't stop doing that. But why not? Why not do others? Coat drives, whether or not, this is all the garbage that we pulled out of this park, and it took us 3 hours. We pulled out more garbage than all the boys' weight combined. We found a car. And we're carrying our stuff. The boys were like, let's take the car out. All right, sure. I'll take this piece, you grab the rest. We had a great time. Obviously bring safety gear and keep safety in mind, but there's so many other things. You could man a water station in a fun run. Clean up telephone poles of old signs. Just simple stuff. You're just improving your community, and the boys are out there and they're having a ball. Because they, if you ask them to do something at home, hey, I need you to clean up your room. Oh, I want to clean my room. You tell them, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to pull some stuff off of phone poles. Yeah! What's the difference here? I don't know, but they love that kind of thing. So take advantage of it. Plant trees.
Wash widows.
Wash widows. Yeah, exactly. You go to go to another person's house and do window screens in the yard.
I want to fix the widows to what I'm saying.
Oh, have I got windows?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe they can't be. Get a hose and a brush. Just like
Moving on. Don't forget summer camp. Okay? It's important to get boys to summer camp. Also part of Journey to Excellence. But it's a prime opportunity for boys to be able to do tons of activities outside under the appropriate supervision. Look for the right camp that fits each boy. You know, if they've got a upcoming a boy that's moving to Weeblos 1 or 2 in June, they should be going to Goshen. It's a real Boy Scout camp, have fun. You know, that's where they are. They can get the most skill set. You know, some of these others, whatever's appropriate. But the key is get the boys to go. Boys who go to summer camp are twice as likely to stay in scouting. And there's where the real memories come in. Okay? Your district is always having events. Most people don't even recognize it. Well, they go, it's just a district event. It's a gimme. You have no planning. It's a district event. You show up. It is awesome. I mean, if your district is doing a Weebloserie, or if it's doing a CUB304 or our district does water rocket launches. Competitive rocket water launches. These are great. They're already being designed for you. Volunteers are already there. You just show up there with your boys. Take advantage of them.
You guys brown shirts do it.
Yeah, the brown shirts. And then it's the brown shirts and the silver tabs. It's awesome. And we use a lot of these for our summertime events too, to get our necessary summertime events to make for our National Pack Award. You guys know this award, right? It's the only award that actually does go on this pocket flap, not the woodland chip. This is one, very rarely do you see them around. When boys get them, they're like, awesome. You know, they really feel like something. This is nothing more than your ticket. The key here is they have to attend a scout camp of some sort. But then after that, each rank has 2 or 3 other things that they're already doing to get the award. It's a great award.
And they can earn it every year. They get
Absolutely.
a different device.
If they earn it, after they earn the patch, there's a teeny tiny little paw that they can put on there that gets lost. Just like that. They lose it as you hand it to them. Okay, what else can you do? Parades, rain gutter regatta. You guys done a rain gutter regatta?
Yeah.
Awesome!
paper
It's perfect! And you come out there as the Dread Pirate. Arr, it's great. You know, you go out there, you can go to baseball games. Sleep on the field afterwards. The best sleep you'll ever have. Spongy grass, no rocks. Awesome! Bicycle rodeos, geocaching, kite flying. Go fly a kite. Tons of fun. Gardening, corn mazes, stargazing. One of our leaders had a passion for stars, so he found all these telescopes for about $10 that could be, you build them and all the boys are out there at night looking at stars. They had a ball, and they earned a belt. It was a great event, and all the parents were like, that was really good. They were just so enthralled. I'm like, of course they were. It was dark and we were outside looking at the sky. It was all wonderful. All right, conclusion. Outdoors, the one thing you gotta remember about outdoors is it requires flexibility. Okay, that's the one thing that bothers most people about the outdoor part of the program.
Semper Gumby.
Yeah, semper gumby. You gotta be flexible, okay? If it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain. There's no way I can stop it, you know. But I have multiple plans in my pocket. I have A, B, C, all the way to Z in my pocket. And I know that. But you know, the object of trying and the fun that the boys and the parents will have outdoors far outweighs the planning and any kind of irritation because it didn't work because of weather or something else. It is well worth it. Use your environment, but also remember to respect your environment too. Encourage the boys to be boys, okay? They're not in school, they don't have to be nice and quiet sitting. Encourage them to have a great time with exercise. Best memories, the best memories are ones that you've had outside. Think of your own life. The vast majority of memories, probably as a child, are outside memories because everything is so much more good and there's just so much more happening than being inside the cinder block room. Yes?
Kind of tale of two hikes. Lake Accotank local lake, about a 4-mile loop, very well-trodden trail. Showed up on the wrong day with my family. We made the best out of it, went through a fence to one of those catchment ponds, found toad balls, toads trying to mate with one female. It was great, picked them up, kids checked it out, ooh, neat, great. Came on the right date with the den, or the kids, so the pack showed up. So many of them were intent on running, to get to the end of the trail. It was like, guys, wait, there's a snake, and it's like, and so how do I slow them down?
Inch trails. You give them goals along the way where they're actually competing against each other to discover. You give them a list of things you're looking for, and it's what's called an inch trail, and they have to constantly be looking at things that are small. okay, so that it slows them down. Tell you what really slows them down, I had this one leader who would walk along and he would pick up what looked like kids, deer scat. And in reality, it was goobers.
Okay.
Or whatever, and he just like, he's sitting there going, wait a minute, I still was here 3 hours ago. And I think it had some thistle. Yeah, and he would sit there and the kids were like, you ate poop! And that slows them down too, because you never know what a crazy leader is going to do. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks.